When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gane, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest It Now. I'm here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gane.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but sometimes Cassie and I have these just before we start recording. I'm laughing and I literally can't stop smiling as I'm introducing the podcast. I don't know if it comes across, but today we're going to talk about if you can inspirations, can something that's inspired be a waste of money?
Oh, I'm so excited about this. I have such a great example. I have many examples, but the most recent one. And so I'm excited because this is another way to go deeper into understanding what inspiration is and what taking inspired action is and what it's not. And because I think everybody thinks it's a direct line, right? It's just putting down that next step and that next step. And that's not necessarily the way it always works. So,
yeah, it's so much fun to the more time you get in this observing, living consciously and with, your awareness of manifesting, how you get to put together all the pieces. And this is one of them. We get to look back and see that.
Absolutely. This is off topic and I won't take a long time, but I think this is my funnest point in my manifesting journey.
You mean where you are in your life right now?
Yeah, where I am, but also in sort of the learning. I've been doing it. I can see all these things and I just get so excited at these little turns or this little thing or awesome. Yeah. That was $300. Was that a waste of inspiration? You guys have to wait to hear. But this led me there, and just the openness.
Yeah. Ooh, I like relating this to money too, because it's one of those easy ones to say it was a waste of money. If it didn't have that direct result.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. What are you excited about, Cass?
Oh man, I am excited about the pool being rented. Yes. We might do a whole episode on this.
Whole separate episode,
yeah. But it's so fun. And I get to go through all the things, it's a new thing, and how do you handle this, and what do you do? And it's a really good opportunity to do a lot of consciously choosing and making decisions and choices about what you want and listening to your instincts, opening up that space. But also just, I get to make money sharing what I love. And that's, I do that every day in my coaching business, but this is another way I get to share that. So it's fun.
Yeah, I love how easily this has fallen into your lap. And that might not be the right words, but how you've aligned with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So
and fun. I just have to say one more thing about it is that, what did you say? You said how you get to share what you love. There was something. Oh, how you don't need to get it perfect the first time. So it's you're exploring this experience without any expectation, knowing the parts that do fit with you, and being open to what else might evolve.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that you highlighted that, because I have such more openness. I've really worked on that in my business, and everything is being there in the moment and doing what needs to be done and being open to change it. Whether that's writing a better description because everybody has the same question, or, it looks different in coaching, but just, being open to that space of, I want this to be fun, so keep it fun.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What are you excited about?
Well, I'm really excited about just so many of the celebrations that are happening with my private clients and in the tribe. The women know who they are, but there's just, people are winning awards everywhere, all over the place. And we're just we can't, it just seems like it's the energy of celebration after this epic trip, after this parenting aha and experience. It's just one thing after the other, and promotions and jobs and all of it. And we're in the vibe of celebration. And so I'm very excited about that, to be able to witness that and get to share that with them all.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
It feels great. It's like a bonus.
It is.
Never mind like transforming lives. Then we get to celebrate all the fun stuff.
I know. It's so great, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. So do you want to start with sharing your story, Cass, or to set the foundation for this?
Yeah. So this topic came up as I kept getting these emails that said, this real estate license course, which I signed up for in December and was totally inspired. And we'll go through that. It was totally inspired. It was because I have thought about this for a long time, and it's never been a time to take an action. Like every time I think about it, like I get the, nope, it's not a hell yes yet. Right. And Jenny and I have even talked about it. And Jenny's like, we've been in this excited place before. Like, I remember having a conversation with Jenny. She's like, this is so great for you. Like, that totally makes sense. Like, and just getting to be in that place of that. And I love real estate. So, on paper, it all makes sense. Right. And so it was just something, and it came up.
It checks all the boxes.
It does check all the boxes. Yeah. And feels fun. Like, real estate is fun for me. And so I met these people, and it was another step in the, like, kind of the path of it. I met this new realtor, I sold a property, and I met them almost a year ago. They just reached out in a text, and going back to our selling episode, they did all that. Like, they might have reached out unsolicited, but it was so easy. And it was so they knew the things that they knew their ideal person. They knew what I wanted, and they spoke to that instead of trying to push their agenda, right? And they're like, hey, this is what we have. If you want it, great. We'd love to work with you. And if not, that's okay too, And so 6 months later, we worked together, and I love the way that they do business. And it's really cool for me. And I love, I'll share this. He goes, because they let you set when you're selling your own commission based on what you want. And and he goes, I said, I love that, because this is what I want to get out of it. And this is all the things. He goes, yeah. He goes, you know what? I just go with that, and it's always easy. And my bank account is always full. Right? And so I was like, oh, seems like a great place to work. They're like laid back, because that's the other thing. Like, when you get a license, you have to find a place to hang it. And when it comes to that, there'd never been an Inspired. Anyway, so that was there. This thing came, and he had sent me, and I said, oh, I'm interested. He goes, oh, I'll send you the course I did. It's online, da-da-da. And I signed up, or I went, and it was 50% off, I think maybe on Black Friday or something, Cyber Monday, something. And I was like, yes, it was Inspired, because I just took out the credit card, put it in, or, had it automatically populate. And it was a hell yes. It was easy. And I'm like, cool, I'm so excited to do this. And I have never been really excited to start. I've never been inspired to start. And so I didn't realize when I bought it that it had an expiration. But then I started getting these like, you only have 90 days left. Oh, you only have 60 days left. And I'm like, huh. And there was even a thing at the bottom, like, log in to get an extension. And I was like, there was a couple times I'm like, oh, I should get an extension. And I'm like, no, it's not Inspired. And and so I just thought about it. And what it brought up for me is, this $300. Most people, a lot of people, the way that we're trained, are like, oh, that was a waste of money. And they go into this judgment cycle about it. But what that $300, it opened so much for me. Do we want to pause there and talk about anything before I talk about sort of?
I think one of the, just to highlight a few key parts of the unfolding, is you really know what inspiration feels like. And I think sometimes, like, when it was time to purchase the course, like, and are clear what a hell yes feels like. And I think that's super valuable for what's going to come from the rest of it, and knowing that in that moment, that hell yes is right. And if we let that be enough, we can trust what unfolds from there.
Yes.
But I think we often mix up, like, oh, yes, it was Inspired, when it might have been partly inspired, but maybe not fully. And I think that's part of this journey, is like just having experiences and then reflecting, was that a full hell yes, or was that maybe just halfway kind of thing, and learning what that feeling is for you.
Yes. Oh, I love that you brought this up right now, and not judging it, because I have had those moments where I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, it was partly inspired, but really it was me like pushing. It was something I wanted.
Yes.
And when I do look back on this, I'm like, no, it was a hell yes. It was so easy, and it was inevitable to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely how I've learned what my hell yes is by having what I thought were inspirations or inspired decisions, and then them not really working out. But that wasn't why I knew it wasn't totally inspired. It's just having experienced the whole process. Then I'm like, oh yeah, it wasn't, I realized I was trying to make something happen. Yeah, just like you said, pushing it or forcing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. The last story, actually don't even tell the story that you did something wrong. It's just, that's me learning. That's me on my manifesting path.
Yes. And that is so crucial to learning inspired action, is to staying out of that judgment. Because if you're in judgment about you should or you shouldn't, you can't be getting the clarity about, ooh, it was inspired or it was a push, because your focus is somewhere else. It's on the judgment instead of the awareness, right?
Yeah, it like hides the real value in the experience if you're judging yourself. Yeah.
Oh man. And so when you learn that, you can go for it. And it doesn't mean it wasn't inspired, because I then had zero inspiration to keep going. And someday I will. And even honoring like, ooh, I should get an extension. And I'm like, no, it's not inspired right now. I can have that $300 was an investment in so much more. And it's really being able to look at what we get. And this is a higher level way of looking at money and inspiration and all those things. What I got from that was like some energy. I got to put some creative energy in a different place. I got to, because I want to build a real estate, and I want to show how you can build it using LOA and, not doing a lot of the things that people say you have to do, and just have fun with it. And so I got to get my creative juices flowing. Oh, what do I want to do? What's this going to look like? Which put that energy there and let that creativity flow, and which allowed me to sort of have a pause in creativity in my business, which allowed a lot of things to become clear, and just other inspirations to bubble up.
This is so great. I'm just going to say it in a different way. So because this is how the universe is guiding us down the path of least resistance, or what we think it's like sneaky, right? It comes in this unexpected way. So if Cass is calling in the next level in her business, she's guided to purchase this course, which opens up space for creativity over in this area. Has nothing to do with business, but that leaves space in the business, and then that's where the answers come from. So would you agree, Cass?
Definitely, I agree. It's that space, and we often think space, as we evolve, space looks different. Sometimes it just means that mental break of thinking about something else. And it might not even be that you're tired, or I don't think I was overthinking my business. I just think it needed space, and I needed to put creativity in a place that was different for a bit, to give that space and find those answers and have them bubble up.
Yeah. I think too, this can be about activating a place of creativity, like the energy of creativity, that like being in that energy a little bit, and it can transfer to different areas of our life.
Yeah.
It
go
makes
ahead.
me think of,
I'll
go
hold
ahead.
my thought. You go.
Okay. So it makes me think of when last year, when we bought our little trailer, our RV trailer tow behind, and it was so excited. We were so excited. And then I got this inspiration to redo it, like randomly one day, and paint all the things. And I was so excited. I was so inspired. It was exactly that feeling of like being in the creative arena in a different area on a different subject. And I loved that feeling, and I was all up in it. And then literally like halfway through, I'm like, okay, this is not inspired anymore. And I was like, so it sat there forever, just like at the same half-finished place. And because that had like served its purpose, and I was like doing other things then, back in my business being creative.
I love this example because it's the different, like, yes, there's a money thing, but then there's also, people can get in the judgment about inspiration. Like, oh, I started a project and I didn't finish it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you didn't judge it. You just let it be.
I did my best. Guys, I'm not perfect. There was a little bit of judgment. But yeah, no, overall, I just let it be and wait till it came back.
Yeah. And did it come back, or what? Did you just sell it as is? Now I'm curious for the rest of the story.
Yeah, no, it I wouldn't say it fully came back that way, but when it did come back was when I was ready to sell it, and then I did it. So it was a little different. It didn't come from that same place, but yeah. And I know we're talking about money, like, is inspiration a waste of money? Like, I spent lots of money on redoing that and like putting time and energy and money into it. And that was one of my favorite parts about it, is I was acknowledging that this money isn't making me any more money right now, or it's not, quote unquote productive or like whatever, but I'm investing in my inspiration, and I know that is valuable.
Oh, like, I'm going to say that again so everybody hears it. Investing in your inspiration is valuable.
Mm-hmm. That's basically like what we want to communicate.
Absolutely. Yes. Because there's so many, people can find so many examples of this. And I think, we're kind of close to the end of the show, but we would even have more examples. But I love your trailer example because that was time and energy, and it's something that people judge, or spending, investing $300. It was an investment. I got back more than that. It just didn't look like, it didn't come through being a realtor.
Yeah. So how did that play out for you?
So for me, it really was that creative space opening up. This was all around the time I think I had already decided I was opening up Manifest 10K again for Pay After You Manifest. And then I was creatively building all this other stuff. And it really opened up, I believe, was opening up that space and that path of opening up coach training and teaching them. Because if I think back, a lot of what I would start here, and this would be step one, sort of in this new business model and how I would attract clients and all these things. Cool. I'm teaching that to them right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It came from a totally different place.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun to see that it opened that up, and it's so fun to be the person now, because I had a lot of judgment, and I think some things were inspired, but some things weren't, that I spent a lot of money on. But I spent a lot of money over the years in my early self-development, which, like, my whole 20s. I spent a lot of money, and being able to be like, yeah, I made an investment and it came back different, like, not, 300 out, 3,000 in from real estate, but that it came back in a different way is huge. I like being the person who's okay with that.
I love that. I recently had a new kind of aha about this just a couple days ago, but it centers right around this of just being very deliberate about money that goes out. If it didn't get, return or exactly what you thought it was going to get coming back or whatever, that it's money going out. It doesn't have to be a direct line coming back. If you feel great about this investment, who knows how else, and I'm going to keep it on financial stuff, like who knows what other way it's going to come back to you. There's so many ways, and the most important thing is how we feel and the story we're telling about it when it goes out or when we're investing it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget. So I know what it was. Okay.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
Go.
It was we had, we're going to talk about this in another episode, but we spent a lot more money on flights than we planned to. And there's that part of me that's like, oh, that value isn't there. But it was 100% inspired in that moment. And that's when I'm like, oh, you can feel however you want to feel about this and create the experience that you want coming back. And it's already like paid off.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but it really, really matters how you feel about, obviously Cassie knows this, but how you feel about the money you're spending.
It does.
Yeah.
And look at it as an investment. If you look at everything as an investment, you'll start to expect that return from everything without a judgment.
Yeah. So the big things is exploring what the hell yes and the inspiration is for you, what feeling that is. You can't get it wrong. And releasing the judgment around spending money on your inspirations, and then trust that, open up to how that investment is going to be for you, and come back to you in both value, maybe emotionally, physically, and financially. It can come back in all the ways.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else you want to wrap up with, Cass?
No, I think that was great. Follow your inspiration and trust that it's an investment.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Hey, it's Ginny. Cass and I talk a lot about alignment being essential to manifesting. So if you're curious how to measure your own level of alignment, I created a quiz for you. Pop over to my website at ginnygane.com. That's GINNYGANE.com and check it out. Oh, and definitely have fun with it.
Go be awesome! Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.